Hello, Internet. I am A.M. Grabelny. I'm joined here with a few friends. We're going to talk about some transfer services that are recent additions to AWS, or more services that have been added to other services on AWS. Will you please introduce yourselves for the stream?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Paul Reid. I'm a Principal Product Manager in our Boston office.
Everett Dalgner. I am a Storage Solutions Architect specialist based in EMEA.
Smita Sriram, Senior Product Manager, also in the Boston product office.
I'm really excited to be here with all of you. I just want you to know that. This is a safe space too. It's always a safe space when you're here with me. So
we can say anything. We can open up.
Yeah, please, please. It's like therapy, actually. So we're going to talk about three different things today in this 20-minute segment. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot to get through.
We're gonna talk about data sync. We're gonna talk about transfer for Sftp, which is new and super cool, and of course Snowball with edge optimized computing. Right? Is that what we agreed on? Did I throw in anything?
It's a little bit of a surprise, but I think that we'll be okay.
Okay, all right. I won't throw you a curveball, I guess. But so let's talk about data sync first, Paul. So tell me, why do people need data sync?
Yeah, so data sync is a service that we just launched this week. We have a lot of customers that are moving their workloads into AWS.
Sure.
And part of moving a workload is moving the data that workload sits on top of. And so data sync helps customers. It's a simple, fast way of moving their data from where it exists today on premises into AWS.
Okay.
Into either our S3 service, our core object storage service, or into EFS, our file system service.
Okay. So I kept this from you guys. Mm-hmm. I previously worked for 2 different document management companies. So to me, moving things to the cloud is one of the first steps that I've seen a lot of customers, especially in the enterprise, take that step into the cloud transformation story, right? Mm-hmm. So data sync, how does that tie into that kind of story, right?
Right, so data sync provides you a way of deploying an agent on premises, and we provide that to you as a VMware image.
Sure.
So you can deploy one agent into your on-premises environment, connect it to any number of on-premises file systems, and then target the destination storage service in AWS that you want that data to land in.
Okay.
Data sync will then transfer your data incrementally, so you can keep it running all the time to move data sets. So if you have an active data set, this is very common in a lot of enterprise environments where I'm moving my application, but my application wants to still run on premises. So it still wants to manipulate the data that sits on-prem. So we incrementally transfer the data, and we'll keep moving the changes into AWS. And then at some point, you might want to move your application into the cloud.
Sure.
So the data's already there. Or you may want to just take that data and use it for other things. You may want to use some of our other analysis or ML or AI services to analyze that data or do something else with it. Or maybe you just want a second copy of it stored away for disaster purposes if your primary copy was lost or corrupted. You've got a copy in the cloud for DR or backup.
Okay. So I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of these services that we're talking about today are really to get content into the cloud so you can, like you just mentioned, start using other cloud services like our ML services or Lambda Compute to run against already things that are stored in AWS, but getting them into AWS, that's the part where...
and we see a number of things that customers want to do with data sync, and it's not just moving data to cloud because you want to move workloads there. As I mentioned, DR is a good one. I need a second copy of the cloud.
Absolutely.
Or we have customers that have workloads that maybe they want to bring data back. Maybe they're processing data in cloud, and they want to bring result sets back on premises. So we see this hybrid workloads, it's the industry term that gets used, where customers are spanning their own existing data set and the cloud, and they want to just be able to, they want free fluidity of data between those 2 environments. Data sync helps them move that data.
That's great. So I feel like you and I are getting lost into a really meaningful conversation, and we're completely
ignoring our colleagues.
The other wonderful people on stage with us.
We're just going to have our own conversation.
Right.
I think that'd be great, actually. Paul and I think we're going to leave. We're going to go. We're going to go for coffee. We've got some things to talk through. But no, really, Smith. I'm personally, I think the Sftp transfer service is really interesting, right?
It is. And we've had customers who have all these third parties where they receive all this data, and it's Sftp.
Right.
Right? And they're doing it either on-prem or in the cloud or wherever.
Yeah.
And that's why we introduced this service, so that now they can keep all those connectors, whoever they're connecting with, as is. However, all of that is now in the cloud. Their data is now moved to the cloud. Kind of similar to the conversation that you were having before. You've compute, storage, everything now moves to the cloud.
Well, what's interesting to me too is, again, this past company I worked for a company called Box. I worked a lot with enterprise customers.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me, I don't mean to ding anybody, I didn't know that Sftp was still actively used until I really started working with enterprise customers, but guess what? It's alive and well.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of workflows based off of Sftp.
Yeah.
So what kind of customer needs drove the decision to build a managed Sftp server?
Yeah, so customers told us they need to continue to use Sftp, right?
Sure.
And the need is they want to store this data in the cloud, and then they don't want to manage this anymore on their own, right? And then most importantly, they can't really change what's happening out there already with their third parties, right? So these were some of the needs that told us, okay, what we need is a fully managed service that helps them migrate as easily as possible to the cloud.
Right. So I'm going to make up a completely fictional use case here, right? I'm a customer. My name's Carl Grimm. I work for a secret international intelligence agency. Part of my job is still managing some of these Sftp servers on our premises.
And you love it.
What am I going to have to do to change my workflow to interact with the new AWS transfer for Sftp?
Spin up a server in a few minutes, right?
Yes.
Hopefully you have a bucket and an IAM role to access it, right? Once you spin up your server, add your users, right, and their keys, and I can show you in a minute. And then once you do that, if you use the same keys that your users are using today, they don't have to even change what they're authenticating.
Oh, really?
They're authenticating. Yeah, because you can use the same public keys. Right?
Okay.
You can upload the same key. And you can even use Route 53 to route the same host name to this endpoint.
All right.
Right. So your users, as far as your users are concerned, nothing happened.
It sounds like Carl's happy. He doesn't have to change anything.
And then Carl goes back and switches off those servers.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does other things that's more interesting to him.
It's just really, like, at the end of the day, right, there's really no value here to run your own Sftp server. It doesn't benefit your business.
You can focus on more, business-related tasks.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
Data
that's
analytics,
what I was thinking.
all the cool things that Paul just mentioned.
So I've heard, there's a rumor that you're going to show us how this works.
Oh my God, I'm so not prepared.
You're not prepared. I'm sorry. We'll cut immediately. Wait, no, you have to show us. Come on.
Oh, come on.
I just want to know, where was it? Charles? Carl? Who was our?
Carl.
Carl
Grimm, yeah.
Where's Carl Grimm from? Is he? I want to know the backstory.
You want the whole?
He's an international spy. There's a whole novel about him, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's kicking around up here.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe one day for a future release on.
I think you should
do
just
another
make it up,
session
live stream it, and just write the book in real time.
I like the way you think, Everett.
Are we ready? Or
I'm ready.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Could you please not interrupt us, Smith?
All right.
Let's get back to work. Yeah.
So this is my AWS transfer for Sftp console. I have a couple of servers already I've been playing around with, but I'll create one right for you. So this is what Carl would do. He'd go to his console, he'd create server. He might have a host name that he might want to route it to.
Oh,
I don't have one. If I owned a domain, that's what I would do, right?
One day, maybe.
Yes, one day I will. Custom domain. We have two options in the way customers can set up their authentication. One is service manage, where we store all these identities within the service.
Sure.
The other one is if they want to plug in like a custom identity provider that Carl already built and he wants to use that, we give them hooks to use that. I'm simple, I'm going to use the service manage for now.
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
We have a logging role, so if you want to write all these CloudWatch logs, because Carl wants to know what these users are up to. When are they uploading, he just wants to keep an eye. So he can use CloudWatch to do that optionally.
He can spy.
And he can tag his servers. Yeah. Or he can tag his servers.
Part of his evil
It makes
plan.
his job easier.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to hit create server right here. So I've got a server that's spinning up in AWS, my Sftp server, right? For the purpose of this demo, I'm kind of going to use a server I've already created.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Assume Carl, fast forward a little bit.
It's
here.
our cooking show. You've already got one in the oven. You can pull it out.
Exactly. So I have one. I'm going to click on this user, Smitha AWS, right? I've got a role. It's all role-based access to my resources, and then a home directory. So when Smitha logs in, this is where she knows she's going to land in her client. Should we do that from a client?
Yeah, absolutely.
CyberDuck.
Yeah.
You go. Okay.
What could go
Wouldn't
wrong?
it be Carl Duck?
Carl Duck.
Yeah, that would be a new client. We'd still be compatible. Does it work with SFTP? You know?
Or is it Cyber Carl? I'm really impressed that not only is he an international spy, I'm guessing he's also a man of mystery, and he seems to be like an IT sort of administrator, like technology guy.
Yeah.
When does he sleep?
He doesn't. He doesn't need to.
Okay.
He's trained himself to only
fueled
need
by coffee and nicotine and gasoline. And
and his dark past. He's haunted by his memories. Yeah.
So his users, they're going to have SFTP selected, right? And then enter the host name. Again, like I said, I entered the actual server host name, but you can enter your custom domain and give their private key, hit connect. The server is going to authenticate. You can see. So as far as the user is concerned, it's SFTP.
Right.
Right? Login successful. There you go. And that's the bucket. There's already a cat photo in there for me. Oh, what a surprise.
Right. Evil genius, cats.
Did you pick a cat photo?
Yeah, I did.
I love cats.
I want to see the cat photo.
You know what? For dog lovers, I'm going to upload a dog photo.
No, you shouldn't. Just keep it cat.
I don't think you can tease us, though, and tell us that there's a cat photo and not show the cat photo.
Oh, yeah, you got to show the cat photo.
And if you see, that cat photo is in my S3 bucket.
Oh, it's in the bucket.
It's in the bucket. It's being exposed via the SFTP client. Now, let's see if I can do an upload, right here.
Does Carl have a cat? While Smith is getting ready.
He only fosters cats.
In the next 8.5 minutes, we are gonna finish the Carl International Spy story.
It'll never be finished.
You got to leave it hanging, right?
So
for the sequel.
Yeah, of course. You always got to leave it open to a sequel.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a dog photo going up.
Oh, dog photo uploading.
After being a dog
Shall we
photo
see?
into S3.
Let's refresh the bucket. Dog photo shows up.
I love it. Let's see the cat photo, though.
You want to see what?
I have to see this cat. Access denied.
Yeah, not
Just
from
show
here.
us on your local machine.
I
Is
can't.
it there?
I will. Give me a second.
I'm with Everett. You got to show the photo. Oh.
All right, that's a good cat photo.
Okay. And then if you want even the dog photo.
That cat
This is
looks
my
like he
favorite
doesn't
dog,
take
and that's
any
why I
guff.
used it. That's my favorite dog breed. So.
There's kind of a color coordination between your cat and your dog photo there.
A little bit, but it wasn't intended. Good noticing.
Well, thank you very much, Smitha. So Everett, we're on to you now. We're talking Snowball. We're talking Cloud Edge optimized.
We're talking
compute.
new options for Snowball.
Yeah.
Snowball Edge.
Right.
Yeah. So we've had Snowball Edge for over a year now. Snowball Edge, sort of what we had in the past. One model.
Yeah.
You can move 100 terabytes of data, connect it up, get it into your network. Everything gets encrypted. We had it's ruggedized so that it can take a lot of abuse. I've actually checked one as baggage when I was traveling to a show once to do a demo.
Sure.
Put the tag on it, got it off the airplane, we plugged it in, and it actually booted up. Wow. And I think that it can survive the baggage handling process and being thrown around. It can survive just about anything. Yeah. So it's a pretty ruggedized device. So the Snowball Edge that we had is now called Snowball Edge Storage Optimized.
Oh, great.
Same form factor, same specs. Still 100 terabytes of storage. You can connect it to up to 40 gigabit network, and you can even run EC2 instances on it. So you can do some pre-processing of the data.
Okay.
And what we found is customers are doing really interesting things with it. So they would take it out on Carl, when Carl's going it on his ship and he's, doing research for something, because his fourth career, beyond being a spy, an international man of mystery, a pet owner, and a cyber guy, Carl's also out doing oceanic research.
Marine biologist.
Yeah, he's a marine biologist, so he's taking a Snowball Edge out there, gathering data, putting it on the edge, and by being able to run an EC2 instance and do Lambda functions locally on the Snowball Edge, Carl's actually able to pre-process the data, he's able to tag things, and he's able to get it ready so that when he ships it back to AWS and we put it into the S3 bucket, he can start working with it immediately. I'm guessing this is maybe where Carl gets help and probably has friends that do this work.
He definitely has a secret organization with which he can outsource.
In Carl's lair.
Yeah.
So doing the pre-processing, tagging data, sorting data, getting it all ready to go means that from the time that it gets back to AWS and we get the data into the bucket, the time that Carl's henchmen can start working with the data is reduced dramatically.
Oh, wow.
Because
when you compare it to, when you compare it to like shipping hard drives back and having to do all of that stuff on your own.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost like having a piece of the AWS cloud where you are, right?
It is.
Without internet connection, without anything.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I want to float a use case to you, a business idea maybe. Maybe we can take this in front of Shark Tank, you and I.
Do we want to talk about it here then? And
I don't know, maybe. We can, I think we can get Cuban on board, if nothing else.
All right.
Mark's my favorite. But, so, I think you should take, you familiar with like doomsday bunkers, doomsday preppers?
Yeah.
Just take a bunch of Snowball Edges, make that a data center for the bunker.
So you can cluster them together.
Yeah, see?
And actually,
it's coming together now.
It gets more interesting.
Okay.
So we just launched the Snowball Edge Compute Optimized.
Sure.
So what we were hearing from customers is, this is fantastic. We really like the ability to be able to run Lambda and run compute functions, EC2 instances.
Yeah, that's compelling to me.
We want to do more though. So if you think about Carl when he goes out in his, what are we to his 6th career as a movie director.
Yeah, obviously.
And they're out in there, they're filming and they're on location.
It's the front though.
Everything's digital, so they're generating a lot of data and they need a way to store that. But they also want to maybe produce dailies, do some transcoding, do
video
some
processing.
Yeah, exactly. And they want to be able to do that quickly and get it back. So with the Snowball Edge Compute Optimized, and by the way, I have to think about that every time I say that because it's new name, so that's why I have to pause. We've made a couple of changes. So we've added 52 virtual CPUs, 208 gigabytes of RAM, up to 100 gigabit network connection, 43 terabytes of S3 storage, and 7.68 terabytes of SSD storage for the EC2 instances. So this means an actual Nvidia Tesla V100 GPU.
Oh, wow.
So you've got two options. So now Carl can order his Snowball Edge Compute Optimized.
Sure.
Load his EC2 instances onto it, and if he needs to be able to do video processing or analytics or anything that requires that horsepower from a GPU, he can order that up front and get the GPU.
You can do that in his layer. It's off the grid.
Yeah.
It's got to be off the grid.
Yeah, well, so we can cluster them together.
He has to be able to get to the AWS
Well, he does eventually take it, but not from the layer.
It seems like we've converted Carl from a international man of mystery super spy into a villain. Well, he's got a henchman in layer, and so this is what happens when you put a story out there, it just evolves.
Yeah, that's the second novel. Okay, so we had a question from chat. Somebody asked, is there a workflow check that can prevent a man-in-the-middle attack? Is there like a key, a man-in-the-middle? I'm not sure what they're referring to. Maybe we can get a little more details on that.
On Snowball?
I'm not sure if they mean SFTP or Sync or Snowball, but
so
with SFTP, it's
the protocol.
Secure
the data goes to an encrypted tunnel.
Right. Yep. That's what the S is for.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And for Sync, we use TLS to move data over the internet, so you can move it over the internet or direct connect. So
there you go.
Industry standard encryption there between
Snowball is
the agent and AWS.
Well, Snowball does a couple of fun things.
Okay.
So I talked about checking it as baggage. The case is sort of tamper evident. So if somebody does something to the case, we'd be able to see it. With the Snowball Edge Compute Optimized, we've actually added NFC tags. That you can download an app, and when you get it, you can scan it with your phone to make sure that nobody's tried to open the case or has opened the case.
Oh.
We also have a TPM chip on board, so we fingerprint the OS to make sure that nobody's tampered with it electronically. And even better, everything that's written to every Snowball device, whether it's compute optimized, storage optimized for Snowball Edge, or even the traditional Snowball, everything is encrypted before it lands on the device, and the keys never travel with it. So Carl always has the encryption keys. It's never with the device.
Yeah. That's Carl's loving this, by the way.
I think we just changed Carl's life.
We did. So we got about a minute left. Where can I go to learn more about storage and transfer and migration on AWS?
So we've actually recently sort of taken all of our migration and transfer services and bundled them together. So we now have a migration and transfer category within our marketing pages and on the console. So all the services now live there together. All of our services, the new services we launched this week, and obviously previous services like Snowball Edge, we have great documentation on aws.amazon.com. And yeah, the AWS console is the best place to get started and read about them.
With the magic of my chat moderator friends, they were going to drop some links into chat for us.
But
you have henchmen?
Not yet. I'm working towards it. Paul, Everett, Smith, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thanks.
It was a lot of fun. All right, we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Bye.